What if I told you that by spending additional 2 seconds, you can prevent errors, save time, and improve your overall coding efficiency? But how? Well, you can do this by naming your stuff correctly. So not like this or like that, more like so. Now, let's learn how to do it. First, we need to understand that English is the industry standard accepted language. So regardless of your project, you should name your variables in English. And that brings us to our second tip, which is knowing the naming conventions. There are many conventions, but the main ones are camel case, Pascal case, snake case, and kebab case. When we talk about naming conventions, keep in mind that they are generally language and usage specific. For example, according to the PEP 8, the style guide for Python, function names should be lowercase with words separated by underscores as necessary to improve readability, which implies using the snake case. But in Java, the class names should be in Pascal case and methods should be in camel case. Now, let's look at the main logic behind naming things, and that is Sid, our genius guy from Ice Age, which also has a meaning of short, intuitive, and descriptive. Short is pretty self-explanatory. Instead of using this, use that. Then we have intuitiveness, which implies that our names should be natural. We are humans, and while we are coding together, we mention code by their names, so they should be easily readable. And finally, our names should be descriptive, which means that it should actually mean something, not just random mumbo jumbo. Then we have AHCLC. It stands for action, high context, and low context. Action stands for what function does, like get, set, update, delete, and so on. High and low context determine where the action takes place. It can be things like users, flags, or arrays. Then, finally, we have prefixes, and they enhance the overall meaning. Things like should, has, or is belong to prefixes. You get the idea. Now, let's go over to a few examples. First, let's start with something very simple, like a basic setter function. In this case, our action is set. Now, we need a context, which answers the question of set what. Let's say that it is storage. So we have set storage, and that's it. It's super simple. Now let's look at another one. In this one, we have prefix of should, action of remove, and high context of user. So we get should remove user. Until this point, everything is great. However, these concepts that I've mentioned look like they will take a lot of time. And this is where this cheat sheet will come handy. This cheat sheet is made by Ketanito, and this video is heavily based on this cheat sheet. So I highly suggest you to use it few times while you are coding, just like a field manual. And eventually you'll get the idea pretty fast and automatically follow the naming conventions without even noticing it. Also, if you want to dive deep about the subject of clean coding, I highly suggest you to read this book, which is written by Uncle Bob, and it is one of the most referred resources when it comes to clean coding. In the end, I hope you'll find this video somewhat useful. And if that is the case, please consider subscribing, and see you next time. Until then, take care.